salt represents the earth. And this combination is really effective in is helping clear our chakras and are sort of cleansing us at the subtle level. So we do this typically for about 15-20 minutes, the first 15-20 minutes of this session. And then we rinse off our feet, and then we continue meditating in the regular fashion. So it's just really, it feels more fresh and more clear after the foot soak. So, and it is recommended that we do this every day, even by ourselves. Um, so if you have a setup like this ready to go, please feel free to do the foot soak. But if you don't have it ready for today, that's totally fine. You can just meditate along and maybe have it prepared for next time. If
Okay,
you have,
okay.
yeah, if you have any questions about this or anything else, just let us know.
Okay. No,
Okay. I will. I don't know if there's anybody else joining for the first time. Okay, probably
No,
not.
rest, they are regulars.
Okay. Um, so I'll also quickly talk about this step known as the bandhan. Um, we basically use a few hand gestures to raise the energy. So um, we did that first self-realization exercise that you have probably experienced before. So that is that first step to raise that energy, to bring it over the seventh center. That you might have felt. A lot of people feel that cool breeze over the head or on the hands. Now, when we meditate regularly, we usually start and end the meditation by using these hand gestures to move that energy. So we basically, the left hand comes in front of the abdomen, the right hand is behind the left, and the right goes around it. So the left hand comes up, the right hand moves around it like this. And then we bring it up over the head and we tie a knot to establish that energy over the seventh center. So we'll do this raising of the Kundalini 3 times. And then after that, we basically balance our energies at the level of each of the 7 centers. So we bring the energy of the left over to the right and the right back to the left, right over to the left. So we only use the right hand. We start at the left hip, we raise, we make an arc over the head, bring it all the way down the right, and then with the same hand, raise, make an arc, and bring it down the left. So we do this pair of arcs 7 times, balancing each of the centers one by one. So in a couple of minutes, we will be doing this. So this was just a quick brief. So, and we'll do this at the end as well. So while we prepare to get started, I'll just quickly talk about this right heart chakra. Today's focus is going to be this center that is known as Anahata in Sanskrit. We call it the heart chakra. And as we've learned through this series, every chakra it has a right side aspect, a left side aspect, and a central aspect, because these three energy channels, they pass and they influence all of these centers. So the right heart specifically relates to a sense of responsibility, uh, the boundaries of good conduct that are generally well understood or should be well understood for human beings as we operate in society, as we interact with each other, within our own families, and just responsibility towards ourselves, right? So that is an important step in our awareness as human beings. This step was actually, it was actualized through it was an important step in our evolution, in our state of consciousness, to have that knowledge of uh, what it means to have the right behavior, what it means to have responsibility towards both oneself and to others, what are the rules or norms of good conduct. Um, but essentially, it comes down to being collective, because when you identify yourself as part of a collective being, as a part of a whole, then that responsibility towards that whole should come naturally. You wouldn't want to do anything that is injurious to others, or to the collective, right? So that awareness to do what is right, even when nobody is watching, that sense of responsibility is, and that proactiveness about it, those qualities are developed at this center on the right heart. And in terms of the history, we've talked about various saints and incarnations who've come on this earth to establish the qualities at the level of each of these centers. So the personification of the right heart, the personification of responsibility and ideal conduct, was through someone who's, of course, known throughout the length and breadth of India as Sri Rama. And Rama was a king. Well, he was born as a prince and then later became a king, but he was the ideal human being in every way, as a son, as a disciple, as a husband, as a father, as a king to his subjects. He exemplified all the good conduct in every way, even when it was uh, even at the cost of some of his own personal happiness sometimes. So and these stories are documented in the epic known as Ramayana, um, which is, you can easily access it on the internet. But this is but he really symbolized that ideal human being, and sort of setting the boundaries of behavior. So um, we'll meditate upon the qualities of this chakra today. Just as a heads up, the so after the foot soak, we'll be listening to the speech. The speech is actually a pretty long one. Um, I've chosen about 25 or 26 minutes of that speech, so it is going to be a lengthier than usual clip today. Um, but we will be sharing the link to the full speech later. There's a lot to unpack there, so I would definitely encourage you all to listen to the full speech later when time permits. So with that, let's get started. Let's just settle down, sit comfortably. Take a few deep breaths. And let's raise the Kundalini 3 times. The first time we'll tie 1 knot. The second time, 2 knots. The third, 3 knots. Next, we'll balance our channels. So we'll bring the right hand near the left hip, raise, bring it down the right, raise the energy of the right, bring it down the left. We'll do this 6 more times. Let's just bring the right hand a few inches over the head and see how we feel. What is the state of that flow? If we are able to feel cool or warm flow or not, which is fine. Now, keeping our attention just above the head, let's move the right hand over the water and salt in a clockwise direction, directing this flow of energy into the elements. May the qualities of the ocean come into this Footsoak setup. And now we can put both our feet inside. Let's just become aware of how we're feeling on our hands vibrationally. If we have felt that coolness or the balance before, does it feel the same today at this point? Or is it different? Do both hands feel the same or not? Let's notice where we might be feeling some tingling, a little bit of heat or numbness around the fingertips or the palms. And what is the state of our attention? So now let's put the right hand towards the earth. Let's just let it hang by our side. We connect with Mother Earth. And just ask to please clear my left energy channel. Please make my attention free from the past. Let all the heaviness that weighs down my being that comes from the past, let it be released into the earth. Let my desires be pure. Beyond all superficiality. Let that deep and pure desire to be the spirit be awakened within me. Sometimes the heaviness, the dullness, even the lethargy that may seem unshakable may not just be from us alone, may not just be individual. It could come from the environment too. It could come from others. It could just be the nature of this day, this time, even the weather.
Oh, it's me, Mickey. Gentlemen, are you ready to hear the loudest scream of your life? All right.
So it's important that we stay in that witness state. Not allowing ourselves, not allowing our reactions to take over. But staying along that river of awareness that is guided by our Kundalini. And when we meditate collectively, we clear collectively. We benefit from the collective strength of our shared awareness. We complement each other's energies. And this collective left side heaviness can clear. Let's bring the right hand back. We'll bring the left hand up, palm facing backward. Let's connect with the air, ether, sky. And allow all that, the heat, the tension, the agitation from the right side, the conscious side, to escape and dissipate. Let my right side be cooled so that my attention becomes subtler. Disentangled from the gross. Let it be free to be one with reality. To feel the peacefulness of the spirit. Again, this collective awareness can really help create that peace. For each of us. Let's bring the left hand down. Let's put the right hand across the forehead. You can gently press forehead, the sides. We forgive every thought. We forgive everyone. We forgive ourselves. Unconditionally forgive. Bring the hand back on our lap. We can conclude the foot soak by taking our feet one by one, rinsing them off. Let's set the bucket aside. We can dispose the water later. So we will listen to the speech now. It's from 1981, where Sri Mataji spoke at Caxton Hall in London. And she talks about the qualities of the right side. And this part focuses on, at some point, she focuses on the right heart. And she talks about the qualities of Sri Rama and his significance in our revolution.
I talk to you about the right side. Right side sympathetic nervous system, which is expressed by our subtle energy of Mahasaraswati, which gives us the power to act. By left side, we desire, and by using the right side, the power of Pingala Nadi, we act. I was telling you about the right side the other day. Let us see how our right side is built up. I'm sorry for people who have come for the first time, but every time when I start the introduction to the subject, again it becomes the same. But later on I'll explain to you about Saj. Now this right side Pingala Nadi is a very, very important energy-giving energy which makes us act and activate. Now this one is made of all the 5 elements. You know all the 5 elements that have created our physical being and our mental being. That's how it helps us to work out all our physical and mental problems, mental activities, and mental and physical growth. Now this being made by those 5 elements, when first time human being started thinking of doing some action about anything, say in India, they first thought, why not somehow or other reach to the principle of these elements, which is beyond physics, which is beyond chemistry. And to reach to that point, they thought it would be better if we try to invoke or to awaken the deities which are governing those 5 elements. This was a very big mistake, though, I should say, because human beings, whatever they take up, they do not know where to stop. If you tell them that you have to clean your teeth every day, then they'll go on cleaning it 12 times in 12 hours. You tell them anything, they'll go so far that they will destroy the instrument which is supposed to be looked after. That's the nature of human beings. They cannot have breaks to themselves. They do not have common sense as far as balance in their life. So anything you give them, they become so mad after it that in Marathi there's a word is that they ultimately put ashes on their head to declare that I am dead now, I have become ashes. Like that, they get so frantic that even while doing this awakening of these principles, they lost their sight that we are after all spirit and not these elements. We are beyond that. We have to reach beyond that. All these elements are only useful for us to achieve a state in which we can create things and we can have more time to devote to meditation, to enjoy our self-realization. They got completely blinded by the advances they made on this side, which is in pure and simple verses materialism. They became so responsible, so efficient. First, in the Vedas, is written the first stanza is such that by reading these Vedas, if you do not know your spirit, then it is absolutely useless. But this stanza they always closed down, I think. Then they started worshipping those deities, this, that, exciting them, doing all ritualism and all that, and they just went into it headlong, absolutely headlong. They would not turn back. So by exciting these elements, they discovered the principles of these elements. For example, they discovered that gravity is the essence of the Mother Earth. But it is not. That is not the essence of the Mother Earth. That is the energy that is asserted by her, but her essence is her fragrance. They could not cross that limit where they could see really the subtle thing, which was the subtle principle of this energy of gravity, is the fragrance. All the fragrances come from her. Of course, man-made there are, that's different. But even the man-made are also coming from her. If you go trace the source it up to the point, it is from there. Like that, they went on discovering the subtler, so-called subtler energies or the principles of these elements from the Vedas time. Then it became a science. People started studying physics, chemistry, this, that, understanding what was there before them by going into it and trying to find out what is it made of. For example, they went into atoms. They went into, say, molecules and things, and they tried to find out. And there they find the oscillation of the protons, and they find the oscillation of these atoms. They just can't understand now from where this energy of this oscillation is coming. They could not capture that energy, so they thought better use the energy. So they started using the energy. Now it has gone to such a limit of the whole thing is now I saw that microchips or something coming up. After some time, you won't be using hands or head or anything. It will be that microchips will be going on. But with this kind of a thing, with this extreme behavior, you will become a machine yourself, a slave of the machine. Today the petrol is exhausted, tomorrow electricity is exhausted, then what are you going to do? You don't know even to count 2 plus 2. So you are left without any counting. You will become the same primitive man. And I don't know what will you be doing, climbing on the trees and living like monkeys. I don't know what will happen. So all this advancement that you did has gone too far. But as a result of too much efficiency, too much responsibility and all that, you became sort of addicted to it. And then with that you started dominating other people. The machinery came in, with that you produced such a lot of machinery stuff that you didn't know what to do, so you had to find out markets where you'll sell them, so you started capturing other markets where you started selling them, and that's how all these economic problems and all these have started. There are developing countries, there are developed countries, all things going on in this mad world. All right. But we reach a point now where we realize that this machine has done something nonsensical within us. When we reach that point, we start thinking, now what are we to do? We have been very responsible, not you people, but your forefathers maybe, who went to fight the whole world and do this, and they had to be at right time, at right places, and do all sorts of things. By that over-responsibility, you became sort of fed up. You just didn't know what to do. For example, morning you wear a grey suit, the night you have to wear a tailcoat. Then if you have to drink your wine, you have to take a separate glass. And for that, it became too much messy. You said, throw them in the sea. Not going to have all this nonsense. We have collected all these forms and horrible things that have made us so rigid. That's how you try to throw away everything. But even then, when you throw away, where do you go? I mean, you have to exist, you cannot just hang in the air. So you said, now take another style. And another style is even worse. Much worse. Because then no responsibility, no respect, no understanding. So this power goes absolutely zero. You are tired very soon. I've seen, in the BBC and all that, young people, I'm a very old woman compared to them, after saying 2-3 words, they go down. Again after saying something, this is very big acting these days. In any play you see a person say, what does it take to act for this kind of a thing? This is what is very common now, you notice it. The reason is you're tired. You're absolutely tired. Why? Because your brain is the same old brain. And you have taken a new life. You cannot adjust yourself to that. You say that now I'm sitting down doing nothing, I'm not going to be efficient anymore, and all that I'm sitting down. The brain is going chuck, 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 morning till you. How to stop this brain? This brain is working so hard, using up all your energy. You have no strength. So to counteract, you would say, let's take to some sort of a thing by which we go out of this madness. Let's take to something that takes you, as we call it, the right or the left side. Take something like, say, hashish, or something like another thing, LSD, to go to the right or to the left. Now what happens with that, you know very well. Now thank God you have realized also that was nonsensical also. That was no. These are 2 areas within us which are called as Adi Bhautik and Adi Daivi. Now the Adi Bhautik are the ones which take you to the left side, is the subconscious. And the Adi Daivik are the ones where you try to invoke the devas and all that on the right hand side. That one is the Adi Daivik, where we call it supraconscious. These two are of no use to human beings. Actually, they are not meant for you. They are meant for people who are dead souls, who are good for nothing. Now they cannot get realization. It's not meant for you. That's the area you should not reside. But you entered into these areas because of extreme natures. Some people, by going into these stuff, some taking to some sort of movements like mesmerism, spiritualism, and all sorts of isms. Some people onto the right-hand side, like taking to what you call these people who are racialists, and all such organizations which are racialist and this and that, and all that kind of a people, like Hitlerish type. All this is nothing but is a kind of intoxicant which makes you forget the reality, that you are a human being, that you have to become the spirit, that you are the spirit is the reality. Now the present trend in the Western life is very much set in this country, about which I am very much concerned. I've talked about to many people in person and also otherwise, that the quality of mind, because we are with the English, let's talk about the English. Quality of mind of English is excellent, I've said it always. And the young people of English have a very good quality of mind. But their heart is like this. They are frightened of what God alone knows, but they are frightened. Or they have taken this pose, I don't. Now to do any work also they are frightened. Supposing we put this color, then it may not match. If it doesn't match, doesn't matter. What does it matter? Because of those previous ideas, they are so frightened of doing anything. Though they say they have broken all those ideas and they have taken to a new liberated ways and all that. But this liberation is also another madness in which their fear has not gone. So the quality of mind of the English Sahajogis and English people is excellent. If you talk to them, you will think you are talking to a scholar. I mean, no less than Shakespeare. They could be very well read. They will know about anything you ask them. What is this road? This is the road. No. What's the name of this road? This is the gentleman. Who was his grandfather? What he did? What was the gossip about him? Scandals, everything. You can get everything from them. They know everything about everything. Sometimes I'm amazed the way people know about things, about all the details as to how many women he had and how many wives he divorced and what he did and where he went and what he wrote. Take anyone. Take a writer or take an artist, take a hooligan or take a robber or anyone who has appeared on the newspaper as if they have drunk all the newspaper into their memory. The whole thing is so clear-cut in their mind that it's sometimes amazing. But if you tell them to fix one chair, never trust that chair. Never trust it. If you ask them to do anything, they'll tell you, all right, tomorrow at 7 sharp, I'll be there. Even if he comes after 7 days, thank your star. I've known people who have been done this to me. Now it's 4 years, I've never seen their faces again. They're supposed to be XYZ from Oxford and ABCD from Cambridge. They have got first class first and this and that. If you go into their rooms, you'll find it's a pigsty. You don't know where you have landed. I mean, you don't believe that it belongs to any educated person. There's no sense of responsibility left in their head. I mean, this energy that is working in the head, if it is not put into a responsible channel, no wonder we find every third person is a paranoid. Something wrong with the brain. What is wrong with the brain is that so much energy is here and you are not channelizing it at all. By what ways are we to channelize it? Even after realization, I find people have no respect for anything. Sometimes it's more surprising that with all this brain activity going on, they get all the satisfaction from the spirit. They are raising the kundalini, all that, but they have lost that capacity to be responsive. And that's why in Sahaja Yoga also they are not responsive. This goes on not only about their own private work, but about Sahaja Yoga, about everything. So this quality of mind has no heart. It has heart in nothing. Supposing I am telling you something, I don't know what Sahaja Yoga is as such, but now I've seen with people, you give them a lecture for 1 hour, it's long, finished. They're just the same. What has happened? It's only the vibrations. It's only how you work it out that the life changes and all that. But as far as they are concerned, nothing is recorded in the memory. Sometimes I feel, how do I talk? Is it too much on their heads or below their feet? Where is it flowing? So the reason is that the heart is not. If you register it through your heart, you will do it. If you put your heart into things, you will do it. The heart is, as I told you, is chicken heart. Is absolutely chicken heart. And that's why this is what is lacking in our character. For that, now the stage has reached, we have to raise our right side, not the left side. Our right side is absolutely finished. And there, the leader of the right side are 2 persons. The deities are 2 persons. Of course, Brahmadeva is the one who is the creator, who has created this universe, and who is the one who is busy still creating and doing lots of things for you people. But I would suggest that we have to pay attention to 2 ideals we had in the history for this to understand what sort of ideals we should have. Because the right side is a Rajoguna. It's the one by which you become majestic, you become royal, you achieve all the Rajoguna as you know that. Now, 2 persons are really to be followed in this. One of them is Sri Ram. Sri Ram resides on the right heart and is the father. He is the father and he is the fatherhood. He is the one who came on this earth to teach us how to be a father as a king. He is a father king. He is a benevolent king, which was described before Plato. He is the benevolent. He was the ideal who came on this earth to teach us how to be responsible to others, how to respect others, how to understand the feelings of others. To such an extent, he went that he had to sacrifice his own wife for the sake of his own state. He did that, and he had to ask his wife, who was pregnant, to go and live with a very great sage. One may say that what was he doing about his wife? She was the goddess. She was so remarkable that he was not bothered about her. He was so sure of her powers that he did it. And there is nothing wrong in leaving things to the goddess to do, instead of meddling with her all the time. But this gentleman, Sri Rama, understood the responsibility of a king. And that responsibility is lacking in us. That responsibility towards ourselves and towards others. It is very, very surprising. I mean, I came from India. I had never met Englishmen at this close quarters. Till I came to England, I should say. Because before that we met was missionaries. Missionaries were terribly responsible for converting all the people into Christianity. They would get up early in the morning, take their Bibles, go around to all the places, clean all the dirty lanes, and clean all the children, like with papers, you see. Clean all the dirty people there, kiss them, and do all the impressive things to convert the people. They would go even to the forest to convert them. They were so responsible about it, and they felt they have to do it. This is God's job. They are doing God's job. They must convert. And they went on with this, and that's how some of the people I met. Then the rulers were extremely responsible. They were ruthless. They thought it was the greatest thing they were doing was to spread British Raj, and that was their responsibility. When it comes to spreading God's Raj, we are not. First of all, in our own lives, we should see, are we responsible? Now, in the modern time, I find that we have got rid of that sense of responsibility. It's called as a sense of diminishing responsibility. We'll just say, yes, I know, I shouldn't. I know, I should. I can't understand. If you have a heart, how can you say that? That I know I should not have. I know I should have been here. The reason is there is no heart, and the heart always catches when your right side overacts. That means your brain is acting too much, and there is no real action, the output of it. You think too much and do not put it to practice. I should have gone, I should have done this, I should have said so. And this is the problem with our right side. Now, among our Sahaja-yogis also, I find people have the problem of the right side. To worship the right side, we have to see to Sri Ram. How he felt responsible for the whole. How he used to look after people. How he looked after the things of other people. How he behaved towards other people. That's a very important thing which we have to learn. But I find people coming, if it is somebody else's, they'll throw. They will just jump into something and say that, all right, this is my house, I just settle down here the way I like. There's no sense of responsibility at all about it, that you have come to somebody else's house. You have to have some care about it. In the same way, you have to know, you have come in the world of God. This is the kingdom of God, where you have entered. You have been a stranger. Today you are a guest in this house. What are you doing about it? How are you behaving? Are you responsible? Are you like Sri Rama, who took upon himself all the problems of the world, and still he was so responsible? He would not do anything even this much to disturb a person. As far as possible, he would like to try to console and to have the formalities of good living. Formality is meant for good living and good understanding. Unless and until you have this sense of responsibility, your collectivity cannot be all right. You cannot be collectively all right. You need not be a machine for that. There is no need to be machine like Japanese, only one person says the another doesn't. But this one kind of a funny individualism that you have got will never give you that collectivity that is expected of certain. We all have to be one, being responsible for each other. Not only for 1 or 2 persons because he's my friend, he's my husband, he's my wife, but for all of us. We have to be responsible for them, for their things, for their children, for their house, for everything. We have to be responsible. And if this sense of responsibility is lacking, how will you have responsibility for your self-realization?
Let's just put our left hand on the right side of our heart. And ask our own Kundalini to flow and nourish this center. To remove any deficiencies in our awareness, in our sense of responsibility, in our awareness of boundaries, of our thoughts, words, actions. And that our sense of responsibility and boundaries, let it be enlightened by the heart. Let it be enlightened by our love, our sense of caring, our sense of oneness, rather than by any rigidity, strictures, or dogma. Let the quality of this center always keep us in balance. With the right kind of effort, with the right kind of intent. We can bring our hand back on our lap. And we just meditate to this music, which is a devotional song composed in medieval India by a great devotee of Sri Rama. And let's try to feel that sentiment, that devotion. through our meditation.
This is a devotional song written by Sant Tulsidas. The description of Lord Rama. Shri Ram Chandra Kripalu Bhaj Mana Harana Bhava Bhaya Darunam Harana Bhava Bhaya Darunam Shri Ram Chandra Kripalu Bhaj Mana Harana Bhava Bhaya Darunam Harana Bhava Bhaya Darunam Shri Ram Nava Kanjalochana Kanjamukha Kanja Pada Kanjarunam Harana Bhava Bhaya Darunam Shri Ram Ruchi Shuchi Naumi Janaka Sutavaram Harana Bhava Bhaya Darunam Shri Ram Bhajadina Bandhu Dineshadana Daitya Vansha Nikandanam Raghunanda आनन्द कन्द कौशल चन्द दशरथ नन्दनम् हरण भव भय दारुणं श्रीराम
शिरमुकुट कुण्डल तिलक चारुदारं विभूषणम्
आजानुभुजशर चापधर सङ्ग्रामजितखर दूषणम् हरण भव भय दारुणं श्रीराम इति वदति तुलसीदास शङ्कर शेष मुनिमन रञ्जनम् इति वदति तुलसीदास शङ्कर शेष मुनिमन रञ्जनम् मम हृदय कञ्ज निवास कुरु कामादिखलदल गञ्जनम् हरण भव भय दारुणं श्रीराम श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भजमान हरण भव भय दारुणम् हरण भव भय दारुणं श्रीराम 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 श्रीराम
Let's bring the right hand over the head. And just notice how it feels now. Compared to when we checked at the beginning. Check with the left hand. Can bring our hand down. We can just conclude with a prayer that all the obstacles in the ascent of our Kundalini are removed, that we may be able to go deeper into meditation and be in a state of meditation. So we'll conclude the meditation with, again, raising the Kundalini 3 times. We'll, as we've been doing over the last few weeks, let's try to extend this state of connection and our attention to something that affects all of us. So we'll give a bandhan with the right hand. And pertinent to today's theme, let's give a bandhan that may true responsibility and benevolence be awakened in the world's leaders, because their actions, their decisions affect all of us and the future. So we can just write on our left hand with our forefinger. Now, let true responsibility and benevolence be awakened in the leaders of the world. And we'll just, putting our attention on this, we'll just move the right hand clockwise, allow the vibrations to flow. Okay. So thank you all for joining today. And yeah, let us know if you want to share anything. Or have questions.
Yeah, I'll just say thank you for all this. I love learning about the deities, and I really didn't know this about Sri Ram. So this is very exciting. And this is something I love so much about, well, the Hindu part of Sahaj is getting to know all these deities. I mean, there's so many, it's so overwhelming, but you can take the major ones, and it's great.
Yeah.
And in human psychology, so I was in a Buddhist sangha one day, and somebody said, "What I love about this uh, it's not a religion; it's a psychology." And the type she was involved with, we are involved with, I suppose, is it has no gods and no goddesses. And I think you don't know what you're missing. Psychology is fine, but we relate so deeply to humanness in other beings, and stories are so important. And it's it's so much. For me, the richness of this, along with the music, is just, and the Sanskrit language is absolutely endless, avenues to go down, and just warms my heart every
Yeah.
day. So anyway, thank you for this Ram meditation. I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah.
It's kind of maybe I was waiting for it and I didn't know it. And
Yeah,
what
thanks
else?
for sharing that, Mira.
Boy,
I think that was really beautifully said too. And we grew up listening to these stories, and the stories are
uh-huh.
very powerful because there's a lot of culture, a lot of these subtle sensibilities embedded in those stories, and that's very influential. It influences how we relate to each other. It influences our own sensibilities and what we are sensitive towards. So a lot of that becomes baked into the culture even, and
Yeah, yeah.
it even defines the code of conduct in society, the rules of behavior, the boundaries,
Mm,
all of that. And these stories have been passed down through generations for thousands of years. I mean,
yeah,
it
yeah.
is the actual exact time frame of Sri Rama on this earth and his rule that has been debated, but I think it's at least 7 or 8,000 years old, if not more, probably more than that.
Mm,
So,
mm,
but and that's how long it has sustained, and you know,
mm, mm,
in fact, it has been said in the Ramayana itself that the Ramayana will be heard and told until the mountains stand and the rivers flow. Like it's because it
mm,
contains
mm.
an eternal truth. So that's never going to get wiped off. So,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
and along with that, there are other epics too, of course.
Right.
And there's so much in there beyond just the story and the plot itself that really has dictated how life at the individual and
Oh,
societal levels has
boy.
you know has been lived. So yeah, I
Wow.
think and there's obviously spirituality in there too, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Wow. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, wow.
mm,
Even the whole everything
yeah.
influence.
And about the you talked about the formless. Buddha never really talked about about God as such, probably because at that time, at that in that situation, in that context in society, there was perhaps a need to step a little away from too much identification with form.
Hmm.
But then all of creation, if it has come from the formless, then it is also part of that same divinity. So you could
Hmm.
say there's a continuum between
Hmm.
the form, a form, a god with a form or a divinity with form, and the formless and completely abstract. It's all a part
Yeah,
of reality,
yeah.
and you can
What
connect with it in different ways. So
one of the things Zen practitioners love to say is emptiness is form, form is emptiness. They love these little mind-bending things,
yeah, I
but
know the koans, right?
but,
So
but you just kind of explained it so good.
yeah.
And thank you also for the music. I felt the deep devotion and it was very inspiring. So
Yeah, that
thank you.
was a really nice pick by Rahul, actually. So,
Thank
and
you,
this
Rahul.
was a recording of a concert that was played live in front of Sri Mataji in somewhere near
Oh,
London in the late 80s.
oh,
Yeah.
no wonder it had vibrations.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you.
And the tabla player in that, the percussionist, who had his own solo concert after the singing. He's perhaps the greatest tabla player ever,
Oh yeah.
or at least the most
Who who
celebrated tabla player ever. So
what's his name?
his name is Zakir Hussain.
I
So
know Zakir Hussain. I've met him. I've been to concerts of his.
really, oh wow, okay,
Yes.
yes.
He
Oh,
he
that's
used to
amazing.
teach he used to teach around here. So
Where are you in the Bay Area or?
it's Centerville, Aliat Park
Oh,
College is where he came to,
right. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
and where I have studied a bit. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. So like he was the one playing the tabla there. So and right
Oh,
after
fan-
the singing concert, he and his brother played just a tabla duet for Shri Mataji, so which is also available on YouTube. So
How very sweet. Oh, it's on YouTube.
yeah,
Okay.
it's on YouTube. Yeah.
Well,
So,
thank you so much.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. So thank you all once again, and have a wonderful week. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you, everyone.
Jai Shri.
Jai Shri Mataji.